Yeah, there is a reason. You're just gonna be uppercutting over and over again just to reserve some files, but at the end of the day, guess what? You do it in multiplayer, you're just gonna get kicked out. Simple as that. You're pissing off other players, man. What can I say? And, one little note. You say focus and charger skills, but they're both the same. My goodness gracious, man. Focus is required for CB, you need focus 3, otherwise you cripple yourself. I don't understand these guys literally just running without any focus 3. It's complicated, and it's stupid. Oh boy. Obviously the fall damage is not the purpose for Savage Axe. It's not. I can agree with that. Now of course when you say if you give it raw damage you're talking about Wex, aka weakness exploit. You need weakness exploit and crit boost together if you're actually going to perform some damage, right? And with attack up, yeah, but you only need to add attack 4. If you go above attack 4, you kill your damage, as in your damage will weaken. Only at attack 4 will Charge Blade actually sustain really good damage. And for elemental damage, obviously you need to maximize out whatever element you're using. And of course artillery only goes for impact files, but like you said, you don't need artillery for Savage Axe at all. There's really no point. So of course the raw axe damage, again you say raw axe damage, obviously you need Wex. If you're jammed enough, of course you can net you 200 alone, but guess what, literally I can just hit near 1k with Frostcraft. Literally just doing it by raw axe damage, even without Savage Axe, bro. Savage Axe is really pointless for Frostcraft. I'm dead ass serious. And of course you're saying you're looking at 450 from 1 slash, 1 file. Even the slash doesn't use files, does 300 damage, da da da. Yes. You're only talking about it when you're using Fatalis gear, da da da, if you build it correctly. But a lot of people like to build it with attack 7, which of course kills your damage. Critical eye 7, okay. Agitator at 7, okay. But of course that attack 7 kills the damage. I'm serious, you cannot build it the same way as other weapons. CB is different no matter what. And one little thing too is that you mentioned SAED can't be spammed like Savage Axe. Okay, I'll give you some proof. You can go ahead and feel free to look at my videos if you need to. Which of course, again, I can keep throwing a lot of SAEDs. I can still build more damage than a Savage Axe user with my Frostcraft builds. Easy peasy. All your files are gone, yeah. Which is why with SAED, you gotta play it right, you gotta play it accurately. Which is why even then, even if you do waste one set, you always have a second set in hand ready. And you can always build files way back quicker as long as you got focus 3. Which is why every single person that says Charge Blade is slow is because you're being slow. Why? Because you cripple yourself without any focus. And of course, the mode is greatly understood, well, just know for sure that you guys thinking that Savage Axe does a lot more than SAED right now is greatly misunderstood. And I prove it by my videos, man. Alright, you're saying you have 2 reasons. Alright, let's hear it. 1, regular axe mode and elemental discharge. I'm not sure if you're mentioning AED, of course. Have combos less committed to your SAED, okay. Sure, I mean for sure it's like for smaller, monsters, obviously you're able to hit them just fine. Okay, there's nothing right there. 2, I can drop both focus and artillery. Oh my goodness, man. It's just what I said already, man. Drop focus, you cripple yourself. Exactly why every single person who says Charge Blade is slow is because you cripple yourself without any focus. Focus 3 is mandatory. It's not like Hammer, dog. If you think like a Hammer main dude, you're absolutely in the wrong field, buddy. You have to give yourself focus 3 on Charge Blade, otherwise you cripple yourself. Power Prolonger is a comfort, only used for Savage Axe. But if you do know, it can also be used for SAED, which nobody really talks about, right? Same time though, I don't really need Power Prolonger either. Why? Because as a Charge Blade main, an actual good one, I can literally just tell you that throughout my experiences and of course all the matchups that you've seen with the speedruns that I do, I have not ran Power Prolonger a single time. Not even against a Latrion. Not even against any other monster, man. Goodness gracious. Quick sheath, oh yeah, it's a comforting skill. Only if you want to put away your weapon faster. If you read my manual, which is the part 1, Charge Blade for Dummies, then obviously I show you the ways exactly how to sheath faster using the environment. Did you watch it? No? Then you need to check out my Steam guide, buddy. From his experience, files are almost always in a surplus, especially for focus and SAED, man. That's literally the whole point. You need focus, and for files, obviously, if you want to do SAED, you need artillery boost. Power prolonger doesn't really help much. Yeah, I can agree with that. Only for SAED play, you wouldn't really need it. Quick sheath is also kind of pointless, considering how mobile and safe CB is in sword mode. Again, in dire situations where you need to heal, you need to know how to use the environment, and plus, you can also evade, then sheath. That's also another way to, sheath your weapon pretty quickly. And of course, I would replace these with offensive guard and a few levels of guard. Again, same way with focus. You don't have guard, you cripple yourself. The only mandatory requirement of a level 4 guard is level 5. Anything below is garbage. Don't bother. It takes time to practice with guard points, sure. Because again, you're fighting different types of monsters, so obviously you need to take time to practice. And again, this guy reminds you all, you need artillery if you're doing SAED. If you're using impact, you need artillery. Elemental requires attack 4 only, with the elemental attack boost as well. Simple as is. And of course, offensive guard can be used for both sides, except with elemental CB, obviously it goes with the initial hits. The files get increased boost along with the initial hits of SAED. Simple again. And another reminder again, get guard 5, not guard 4 or below. Guard 4 or below is garbage. Again, an example of a guy who basically doesn't do anything properly with Charge Blade and doesn't really use his head. So pretty much again, Charge Blade, you're saying it's too slow. I wonder why. Did you build it with no focus? Or do I actually think you're performing way too slow? Perhaps it's either those two or probably both together. Either way, that's on you. Now of course it's very hard to hit with the head. No, it's not. I've done it several times where I've actually landed so many SAEDs onto monsters. Regardless of the fact that even if I don't land them, I can always still build it back up again with all the files because of focus 3. Right then afterwards, go back and continue. You can only basically do it. No. Even they say you have to learn positioning with Savage Axe, right? Obviously learn your positioning with SAED, that's why you practice. And then of course, you basically mentioned about Fatalis, and I love to hear about it. Fatalis simply will not give you enough SAED AED openings to make it worth a while. Okay, I need you to review over to my in-game retrials and also, the in-game Iceborne monsters that I picked out of the 20 versus my Charge Blade. If you're in multiplayer and your teammates use up the weapon that make up for your damage of the head, Savage Axe actually shreds Fatalis. No, not really. I can literally just run with Frostcraft, and I can literally just do a lot of damage and still overlap a whole bunch of people. His chest is one big Savage Axe cutting board. Even then I can still SAED and all the files will hit to his tail too, buddy. You gotta think about it. Oh no. The fact that someone says this and I'm slandering them is pretty funny. Yeah, this right here is just basically just showing you exactly what everyone thinks, because again, Savage Axe, they rely on it too much. I rely on SAED only, and I still managed to get 9 minutes on Fatalis, bro. Think about it. I'm literally like the first SAED user just to get a short time, just like that with Fatalis. It's crazy. Skill issue? I mean, everyone has it, including yourself. So what's the point? Anyways, and you're saying CB users are prone to having a frail ego? I'm more of a humble person myself, and most of the praise that I've been getting from many people due to my SAED capabilities, because you're saying spamming SAED is not going to work out, seems to me that you must be an LS user. I'm not going to lie to you. Why? Because again, most people that I have as viewers obviously do not play Chargeblade, and they're not mains at all. I'm the only true Chargeblade main. Only for World. And if I ever want to step up, I can. Same time though, we'll see. So again, I will politely ask you to leave. No, I don't think I will. Chargeblade isn't slow at all. You're just basically either crippling yourself without Focus 3, or you're basically just slow in your performance. That's simple. This comment right here is something I'm gonna bury for sure. 6 feet under. SCD playstyle is still there. Always been alive. The matter of fact is that since people are basically thinking about Savage Axe only, it's only a matter of time that I change it. Which I did, of course. Comparing Chargeblade to a Switch Axe is pretty funny, because again, they're both different weapons. I won't even bother trying to comparing them. Anyways, your statement says Chargeblade is weak. Obviously, you're not building Chargeblade correctly. It's basically having difficulties to land important hits. Seems like a you problem for sure. And you're saying it lacks the range. Obviously, you're not giving yourself any good spacing. Neither are you actually paying attention on your spacing, including the fact that you actually need to aim it correctly in order to land all the hits, right? Ooh, okay, probably my favorite one right here. Furious Rajang and Chargeblade. So this man right now saying he's at a loss. Oh, I wonder why. Let's read your points. AED doesn't do too much damage to him. Of course, if you decide to gear in a different way, unlike if you actually Frostcraft your CB, then yeah, AED is basically going to be, at best, mediocre or decent. Now here's the thing, with Rajang, he has tough Wex protection on him, so basically you're going to have to tenderize a lot. Secondly, since Rajang has a little bit of HP, obviously he has much reduction to damage, which is why of course you're saying AED doesn't do too much. Your second point being Savage Axe is too slow. Now that's the first complaint about Savage Axe that I've had in the Slander. LOL. The sword has a short reach and is super dangerous to be close to his face. Now he's actually aware. Surprisingly, one of the guys who's complaining is actually aware. Now here's the thing, the sword reach having short range is a you problem. What I said before about the spacings, about you being close to the monster or you having the reach to actually land your hits, you will have to make it suffice. You have to make it to where you damage. If you don't damage, that's on you. Now for you saying it's super dangerous to be close on Furious Rajang's face, that's a point I made on my guide. He's grabby. Very grabby. And at some points he will do something I call the lawnmower. And if he does the lawnmower, that means you have no time to react. However, if you notice with my plays, I throw the axe, then switch back to the sword and shield, and I do a guard point stance. That way, if he does a lawnmower, I block it. With what? Guard 5. Savage Axe cannot do this. Why? Because you rely too much on evade, and guess what? You still get hit. You still get knocked back. Why? Because you decide to give yourself no guard, or at least guard 1 or guard 3, and refuse to acknowledge the fact that you need guard 5 against Rajang. Because Rajang is a really hard punching boss, so you really need to get yourself in the pace with him. How so, you ask? You have to practice. Why? Because with every monster you want to learn the moveset, you practice with the certain weapon of your choice, right? So if you pick Chargeblade, practice it with Chargeblade and do not cripple yourself. I've dedicated more of my time with Rajang before I did with Alcana, and with Rajang, you want proof of it? I got over 4k kills, man. Literally. I dedicated more of my plays onto him than I do with Fatalis. Why? Because every single person that I know out there, even if I don't know you, I know for a certain you're a Fatalis meat writer. Now, I will admit, of course, Chargeblade, at first, when you touch on it as a new player, you want to know what you are. You don't know how it plays out. Why? Because nobody else is basically going to teach you unless you search it up yourself. With me, over time, I've learned it through no references whatsoever. Why? Because most of the guides that you'll see are obviously just Savage Acts. I had to adapt and learn my own ways on how to play SAED just the way I wanted. It's literally the old world, literally just old world. Why? Because it's without the Savage Acts. With Iceborne, it introduced it, so everyone's adapted to that identity. While for myself, I basically just have to put myself through a different type of an identity, which of course I'm better than majority of every single CB player out there. I'm dead ass serious. And you wanna know why? Because I can literally SCD all monsters. Except for the exceptions of Elytra and Anamio, who are very annoying because they force me to. Other than that, I'm better than majority of you. Here we go again with this complex and a new term, Unga Bunga. And now of course I did my research with it. It's basically calling it dumb. And of course the only thing that I find dumb are dual blades. You wanna know why? Because they refuse to tenderize with the most quickest move that I know of coming from their moveset. An LS user who's also damage hungry just like dual blades refuse to tenderize with the quickest move they have in their kit. Charge Blade, Greatsword take their time, while the fastest weapons on here feel like they need to be hot shit. Like honestly, goodness gracious man. Starting off with the weapon is complicated, blah blah blah. Once you do what you're doing, you pretty much do the most braindead shenanigans with the right skills, load shells. This guy right here doesn't even know what he's talking about. The reason why, again, like I said, is because again, if you're gonna say Charge Blade is braindead, alright, what else is braindead then? Dual blades? Most likely. SNS is also another one, because again, it's like doing one combo and you press one button, it'll do the entire combo just for you. I'm literally serious with that. Next thing you know, you have yourself saying load shells. That's gun lanes. Fill up your files easily, artillery boost your files, and make spam heavy gameplay. Okay, you say spam heavy gameplay? Alright, talk about Greatsword too. What does Greatsword does as well? A TCS. You have to do it every single time. And so what? They're a part of that arsenal, dude? Shove those dual blades up your ass, man. Honestly. Or LS. Overall, this comment is just brain dead. Alright, what's next? The weapon that is meant to be played as a guard point weapon is not fast enough to perform its basic function. It's what I said before in the previous Slanders. It's a you problem. If you can't perform CB fast enough and be one with it, just like how many LS users always keep saying, I'm one with the blade, then that's a you problem. Literally guard point works just fine. How so? Take a look at my Savage Axe and normal guard points compilation, which is one of the few beginning videos that I started within my channel. Basically, this guy's just trash. Alright, so let's read what you said. As a Charge Blade user, it's a bad matchup against Fatalis. That's what everyone says, but I still prove them wrong. It's already debunked. You don't have any opportunities to guard point or AED. Really? I've guard pointed several attacks that Fatalis has performed on me, and literally I can also evade them too. You literally have time to AED as well. Literally, you're just basically making it so complicated for yourself that you think that it's impossible, they say. Oh, CB impossible against Fatalis. Yo, seriously. My goodness. So you're restricted to upswing and downswing. You see, everyone always talks about Savage Axe only. Like literally, you're all trash with Charge Blade. I am dead ass serious. If I can SAED and beat Fatalis, literally within 9 minutes, literally just SAED only, every single one of your statements, and literally all of the players who basically think that Savage Axe is the only way for Fatalis, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong, and your points do not make any sense now. If you're looking for a challenger, definitely go to get one. Oh sure, only for the newbie players at first, but when you actually start practicing him, just like the rest of the other monsters, I do not suggest you fatty meat ride. Why? Because again, you want to become one of those fatty meat riders who only do him 24/7 but card to every single other monster? No thank you. But you might find it too frustrating. Yeah, I don't like Fatalis, I'll be honest with you, but at the same time, I'm the only CB user who figured out every single counters with SAED to him. Go ahead. There's LS and many other weapons that you wanted for comfort. Why? Because you want mobility. I want to be untouchable. Why the monster keep hitting me? Charge blade is so bad. You just suck.